the model minority myth mean to you?
I was the Chinese kid who was good at school. I adopted that as my personality, and that's all that I thought that I could be.
The concept of model minority myth just sends me to a blind rage. Its premise is pitting one culture over another, saying that you're better than you.
Not being able to fit into the myth of what model minorities are made me feel a little bit like a black sheep.
I want to be in a place where I can be my full multidimensional self. I don't have to always think about what it looks like as a brown person in a white world.
The model minority myth affected all of my major life decisions. I was a lawyer who went to court all the time, and I really did enjoy it, but it wasn't really what I was cut out for. And I stuck with it so long, partly because it gave me financial stability, and it gave me social validation. The values that my parents instilled in me is that it was really important to get a traditional job and a stable career. I liked my job as a lawyer because I was doing important work. I was working on behalf of a lot of low-income, at-risk people, often recent immigrants, and these are things I'm very passionate about, and I was able to do that work. But the job itself was taking such a toll on me, and as a cartoonist, I've been able to step into this kind of magical space where I'm able to speak up for minorities and underrepresented people, and that was so natural to me, and that was my passion. I never knew that this could be my career path.
I'm Chinese Canadian, Cantonese in particular, and growing up you hear things like, you must be good at math, Asians are hardworking, they keep their heads down. I am like very few of those. I think that the model minority myth is very, very in tune with intergenerational trauma, and it passes through intergenerational cycles. I think about like how my parents grew up relatively poor and how poverty impacted them. A very easy way to climb the social ladder is through capital. And I think a lot of people's understandings of what it is to be successful is based on the model minority myth, is based on what has been decided for us in order for us to fit into that rigid box of what it is to be Asian.
When I first started as an actor in film and television and theater and whatnot, I had agents to my face and to people say, there aren't that many Asian actors out there and they're not generally very good. Through my work that I've created for myself, creating our own stories, I performed at every stage that I could ever want to, and I'm thriving as an artist now. At the same time, when I do get work, you think about what kind of work are we getting? That comes down to that representation question. I get cast as a lot of monks and a lot of dads, a lot of managers, and roles that aren't as intentional or valued or pivotal in a situation. We become part of the ambiance, and it's all centered around whiteness, orbits whiteness. And I think that's a really challenging thing, because a lot of the dialogues right now within the work that I do with community-engaged art, within spoken word, is recognizing intersections, but also intercultural solidarity.
How did you challenge this model minority concept?
At a certain point, you have to not give a damn anymore. You have to decide for yourself where your limits lie and at what point you're sacrificing too much. I had already made one big sacrifice in my life, which was to give up engineering and to try to be a creative. And I challenged these traditional expectations, and these are seditious ideas in my part of the world. As I started pursuing my creativity, as I started to be an artist, as I made my first sales, and that gave me so much confidence, that gave me so much validation for what I was doing and for the relevance of what I saw myself as, even though I wasn't there yet. I wasn't a successful artist, but I could see that what I wanted to do had meaning and it had value.
And finding queer arts communities, for example, was incredibly liberating. Being able to understand what exists beyond what community, what ancestors, what parents might think of you as being able to do, and exceeding beyond that opened my eyes up to what lies beyond when you believe in yourself and think that you can do things more than your parents know you can.
It's really easy to stay in the trap of being just a model minority. People look at you and they ask you, why are you unhappy? You have all these things going for you. But what it meant for me was that I always felt like I was in this rat race where I was always trying to achieve things that I thought this invisible society wanted me to be. It took a long time for me to realize that I just wasn't happy with my career choices and I needed a change.
So I think that for those of us who benefit from the model minority myth, it's about making sure that we create spaces that amplify these stories and get people to listen. Get the people in power to listen and change the systems. I don't want to use the word allies. I think what I want to use is engaged bystanders. When we witness each other struggling or succeeding, how do we intervene or amplify and support?